Imagine waking up one morning and finding out that your water is contaminated. If that were to ever happen, you would know to boil your water to kill off any bacteria within it. But why is that? Is bacteria that bad, and what harm can it do? Water is an important part of our ecosystem and is a natural resource that all of us living things must rely on. According to Medical News Today, 4.8 to 12.7 millions of tons of water enters the ocean each year, waste that humans and organisms both consume on the daily. According to Frontiers, 80% of diseases and 50% of child deaths worldwide relate to poor water quality. Water contamination is not talked about enough and is a huge threat to life that most people don't really know. So I'm going to be talking about it today. So I'm going to start off by talking about the health effects that water contamination has on humans, and then I'll start by talking about how it affects organisms' lifespans, and then I'll talk about how it affects biodiversity. So first off, I'm going to start to talk about how it affects health in humans. According to Melissa Denchak, water contamination can harbor bacteria responsible for cholera, dysentery, typhoid, hepatitis A, and polio. People who ingest these toxins can be exposed to cancer, hormone disruptions, and kidney problems. These are only a few of the health issues listed. Every year, 297,000 children under 5 die from water contamination. That is a big number and it should be smaller. So now I'm going to talk about how water contamination can also affect organisms' lifespans. According to Anna Smith-Hagigi, marine debris can strangle and starve animals. Marine debris would consist of rubber bands, six-pack rings, and plastic water bottles just thrown out into the ocean. Another example would be like a turtle being suffocated by a plastic bag. Marine debris is extremely toxic to aquatic life, and it reduces their ability to reproduce and just live. So now that we've talked about how water contamination affects an organism's lifespan, I'm going to talk about how it affects biodiversity. Anna Smith-Hagigi also found that water pollution can cause algal blooms, which can then also cause eutrophication. Eutrophication is the suffocating of plants and animals, leading to dead zones. And dead zones are basically just zones of like an ecosystem that basically is devoid of life. And that is the exact opposite of what biodiversity is. Biodiversity is just how plants and animals can live and coexist together, but dead zones are the exact opposite, and that's what water contamination is causing. So now that I talked about biodiversity, I'll just start the conclusion. So we went over how water contamination affects health, lifespans, and biodiversity. Now you can understand just how dangerous water contamination is and how it's a grave threat to the balance of life and ecosystem together. So as we continue on this journey of life, when truth is clear, our fate is inseparable from the health of the ecosystem. Thank you.